King Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut, is one of the most famous pharaohs of ancient Egypt. His reign was relatively short, lasting only from 1332 BC to 1323 BC, but his legacy has endured for thousands of years. In this 4,000-word story, we will explore the life and reign of King Tutankhamun, from his ascension to the throne as a young boy to his untimely death and the discovery of his tomb centuries later. Chapter 1: The Early Years. Tutankhamun was born in 1341 BC, during the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. His father was the pharaoh Akhenaten, and his mother was one of Akhenaten's sisters. Akhenaten was a controversial figure in ancient Egypt, known for his attempts to introduce a new monotheistic religion that worshipped the god Aten. This religion was a departure from the traditional polytheistic religion of ancient Egypt, and many of Akhenaten's subjects resented the changes he was making. When Tutankhamun was just a young boy, his father died, and he ascended to the throne as pharaoh. He was only 9 years old at the time, and he was too young to rule on his own. As a result, his advisors and regents made many of the decisions for him. One of the first decisions they made was to move the capital city back to Thebes, which had been the traditional capital of ancient Egypt before Akhenaten had moved it to a new city he had built called Amarna. Tutankhamun spent much of his early reign trying to undo the changes that his father had made. He abandoned the new religion of Aten and restored the traditional polytheistic religion of ancient Egypt. He also began to repair and rebuild the temples and monuments that had fallen into disrepair during his father's reign. However, Tutankhamun's reign was relatively short, and he didn't have much time to accomplish all of the things he wanted to do. Chapter 2: Tutankhamun's Reign. Despite his youth and inexperience, Tutankhamun was able to accomplish some important things during his reign. One of the most significant was his restoration of the Temple of Amun in Karnak. This temple was one of the most important religious sites in ancient Egypt, and it had fallen into disrepair during his father's reign. Tutankhamun oversaw the restoration of the temple, and he also added several new buildings to it. Tutankhamun was also known for his military campaigns. He led campaigns against the Nubians and the Asiatics, and he was able to secure borders of Egypt. He also oversaw several building projects, including the construction of a new palace for himself in Thebes. However, Tutankhamun's reign was not without its problems. One of the biggest challenges he faced was the power struggle between his advisors and regents. These powerful men often fought for control of the young pharaoh, and they sometimes made decisions that were not in his best interests. In addition, Tutankhamun's health was often fragile, and he suffered from a variety of illnesses throughout his reign. Chapter 3: The Death of Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun's reign came to an abrupt end when he died unexpectedly at the age of 19. The cause of his death is not entirely clear, but there are several theories. Some historians believe that he died from complications of a broken leg, while others think that he may have been murdered. There is evidence to suggest that Tutankhamun's tomb was hastily prepared, which has led some to speculate that he may have died suddenly and unexpectedly.